a frugivore. Just accept it. Just accept it. That's what you are.
Can we eat 10 fruit a day? How about 20 fruit a day? It's actually been put to the test.
20 fruit a day. Sounds familiar, right? Yes, I show my results. Because why? You want me to wear a potato sack? You want me to just cover my body up and pretend I don't have good results after 13 years of high fruit? Alana Blanchard, who is a pro surfer, wrote, "You look amazing. I became vegan watching your YouTube videos 8 years ago."
Freelee and the information she provided me for free is the reason I am here today. She's the reason that I am able to make videos.
If you don't know who Freelee the Banana Girl is, I think I typed in some...
I mean, like, why is she mocking me then? Brianna was never vegan. Just like Giovanna and Elise, met a man, got into weight training, got obsessed with protein, thought they needed more protein from animals, starved themselves. All these girls are into this cleansing. Hey Free Woman, welcome back to the Frugivore channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that now. Press the subscribe button, but also press the bell icon because YouTube is unlikely to send my videos to you otherwise. So today's video is a response to Brianna Jackson's "Why I'm No Longer Vegan" video. And a lot of you probably don't know who she is, which is a good thing, okay? But this video is still needed. So as you know, I've done videos on Elise, Raw Alignment Parker, whatever, and also Giovanna Rovana in the past, and it took me a long time. This video is a little bit quicker because I just don't want to dwell too much on these fake vegans. And before we go on, make sure you vote on this video. If you want to see more of these response videos to YouTubers, diet videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You can't give it a thumbs down, just do something if you want to see more of these videos. Alright, so I had someone on Instagram actually contact me and say, "This raw foodist, Brianna Jackson, has gone back to eating meat." And I'm like, hang on a second. Brianna Jackson, I know this name, okay? Brianna Jackson, who's been eating everything basically that is like plant-based apparently the past 4 years. She hasn't been a raw foodist at all. You know, she's been eating cooked food. She's been eating cooked food for the past 4 years. Why are you calling her a raw foodist? It's like if you enter the movement as a raw foodist through my recommendations, you find the lifestyle because I'm the biggest voice out there. I'm the one pushing it out there and have been for a long time. It doesn't make you a raw foodist for life. Okay? Can we please be accurate? You know, more accurately, she was eating... There's her friend, Healthy Crazy Cool Miles. She was eating more, like he recommends, more fat, and even more protein as well, because she's into this whole bodybuilding thing, and she's, you know, there's people out there in the vegan movement who are promoting excess protein for no goddamn reason. So as you can see from these videos, sure, she was having a little bit of fruit still, but if you click on the videos, she's having processed food, she's having higher fat, so she's eating a more, if you will, balanced plant-based diet. That's what everyone likes to call it, balanced, when you know, eat a whole lot of processed and higher fat food. So as you can see, that is firstly incorrect. Please stop representing raw foodism and raw tofu incorrectly. This is what she has in common also with Giovanna and also with Elise. They were both eating a higher fat, cooked food, higher protein diet for years before they went back to eating their friends. Let's just establish that, and I see this pattern a lot. They're not going back from eating fruit. It's rarely happening like that. They're actually going back from eating higher fat and higher protein and thinking they need even more protein and rubbish like that. So let's go over here for a start and let's hear a little bit of what she has to say.
I feel like I'm a little bit late to the party making this video, but here goes nothing. Hello.
Hang on. So who starts the video saying a video about going back to exploiting and killing innocent animals like I'm a bit late to the party? It's not a freaking party, Brianna. This is really serious. You have gone from being seemingly compassionate to animals and thinking it was the wrong thing to do. Remember, you called out Nick Avocado for doing the Why I'm No Longer Vegan video. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. You called him out and said it was cruel to animals, and now you're doing exactly the same thing. It's not a frickin' party, it's a frickin' train wreck. That's what it is.
My lovelies, had a wonderful day so far. So in today's video I'm going to be discussing why I am no longer vegan. If any of you aren't aware, I was vegan for 7 years and
No honey, you were not vegan. Brianna, you were not vegan. You were clearly a plant-based poser. So a little bit of a backstory on Brianna. She came to my festival 2015 or 2016. I didn't meet her or anything like that, but she was making videos like against my recommendations at the time, which is really strange to come to someone's festival and then make videos against their recommendations. It's like, why did you come? Why did you come to my festival? So at the time, I recognized that she had an eating disorder. She was clearly starving herself on a raw food diet. And I don't support that. Okay, I've never supported that. I don't support fasting, which is just starvation as well, juice feasting, under eating on a raw food diet. Never supported that. Okay, so when these people are like, oh, you know, Freelee caused her eating disorder, it's like, where do you get off? You know, what are you talking about? Even Brianna herself doesn't blame me, which would be ridiculous, for her eating disorder. Let's have a little bit of a quick look at this video. Do I blame Freelee for my eating disorder? And let's have a little bit of a listen here.
As I've said many times on my own YouTube channel, when I've spoken about my vegan journey and my past with an eating disorder, I had suffered with an eating disorder for years before I even had any clue who the hell Freelee was. I was diagnosed with anorexia when I was 12 years old.
12.
And then, you know, my relationship with...
Seriously, okay, 12 years old being diagnosed with anorexia. That is really going to screw with your development. This is a really important time during a female's development, as we all know.
Food and my disordered eating was just up and down and up and down. My weight fluctuated, my relationship with my food, my body. As I've said, I never ever insinuated that Freelee or any other vegan or YouTuber or diet guru for that matter was to blame for my eating disorder, because as I said, I had suffered with an eating disorder years beforehand, and eating disorders are a lot more complex than simply blaming it on one thing or one particular person.
So as you heard, she doesn't blame me for her eating disorder, and it would be ridiculous if she did so. But a lot of people out on the internet try and connect the two. They're so desperate for it to fit their agenda, to fit their narrative, that they twist the story so much to be like, Freelee caused this girl's eating disorder. It's like, just step off, seriously, and start being actually truthful and stop just twisting things to suit yourself. It really pisses me off. At least be accurate. So Brianna has always been a plant-based poser. Even on her recent video, I'm proud. I've changed and I'm proud. How can you be proud about going back to eating your friends? It's completely unnecessary. It's cruel. And it just shows that you've always been a plant-based poser. It's just a narcissistic pursuit for you. You had an eating disorder, and then you brought that sick eating disorder mentality to a healthy lifestyle, to a raw vegan and a raw tofu and a vegan lifestyle. This is important to establish. She had a serious eating disorder, and she was drastically under eating, like eating 1,000 calories a day as a raw foodist. This is unhealthy. It's unhealthy to eat that little calories on any diet. You know, so stop blaming fruit. You know, I saw these comments, one from Kicking Geese on her video. I like this woman, okay? I'm just disappointed that she wrote this comment. She's got a cool channel if you want to check it out. It's quite funny. She's a comedian. She writes, another fruit dieter bites the dust. Hang on a second. Okay, this is not about fruit. This is about someone having a serious eating disorder, bringing it to this lifestyle, bringing it to a fruit lifestyle, under eating and getting issues and feeling crap. Like, is that the fruit's fault? No, it's not. Is that Freelee's fault? No, it's not. So please, take some responsibility as individuals. Please stop spreading around this misinformation that fruit causes eating disorders. You are a frugivore. Just accept it. Just accept it. That's what you are. And frugivores are meant to get most of their calories from fruit. Like, it's like I'm living in this twilight zone. I don't know what world I live in anymore. Like, Jesus. Ah, so many frugivores who have no idea who are shitting on fruit. It's like, if someone has an eating disorder, how can you then blame the food that they begin to eat or the lifestyle that they begin to follow? You know, I've always recommended unlimited calories. Yes, eat as much as you care for. This is very important during recovery. And one person who has, well, we're going to go a little bit more into this, but one person who has benefited greatly from this is Lily. Okay, I put this video up a while back, and she may not eat raw tofu or raw food anymore, but this is her story and this is the truth of it. So listen up.
That girl gave me every single piece of information I needed to turn my life around for myself. She never withheld vital information from me so that she could sell me it. And I know that she has done that for so many other people without ever asking for anything or trying to sell them gimmicks that don't work. And for her effort and her generosity and the fact that she was there calling out the people who had been victimizing me and hurting my health for years of my life means everything. Freelee and the information she provided me for free is the reason I am here today. She's the reason that I am able to make videos.
This means a lot to me. It gives me goosebumps hearing this because obviously she's being honest here. This is really powerful. So people are like, oh, you're causing eating disorders. Someone else wrote, it is weird that majority of ex-vegan YouTubers followed Freelee's advice. I don't know, it's just an observation. Or they were starting to become raw vegan at the beginning. Why do I have to spell this out? Honestly, I've been at this for a long time. I basically started the vegan YouTube community. Most of the channels, if not all the channels that you watch, stemmed from my channel. Think about it. And now there's probably thousands and thousands. I've been in the media. There's hundreds of articles written about me. You know, I've been pushing out this message hard because I care about animals. I care about women having ED because I had it myself. I care about women like being stuck in this like mentality of like, I need to undereat, I need to restrict. You know, I can't eat all I care for. You know, I'm always having to worry about my weight. You know, this constant mind fuck. I actually care about that. I'm going to talk more about it. Let's listen a little bit more.
The reason that I survived my naturopath.
Even Brianna says that I helped her with her ED. Check this out.
And as I said, you know, finding Freelee, it was a blessing in a way because the one thing that she really did for me was show me that I didn't have to be scared about eating a certain quantity of food. You know, throughout my whole life I thought I have to eat like a tiny little amount of food and I can only eat vegetables and like the lowest calorie food out there and I have to really restrict my portions and I have to be super duper skinny and only eat, you know, like a tiny small meal per day. Carbs should not be feared and you can eat, you know.
Yeah. So I helped her to overcome this important aspect. If you're coming from anorexia like she was, and someone actually inspires you and makes it okay in your mind, I had anorexia too, remember that. Someone inspires you in your mind, I mean, like it makes it okay within your anorexic thinking that you can eat more. Isn't that like the most important thing ever? Think about it. You're coming from starvation and someone's like, hey, you don't have to starve yourself. It's okay. You can be fit and healthy. Just eat enough. It's all right. You know, that's why it's really disappointing that she tries to associate me with her going back, you know, mentioning me here.
But I brought that up because it was around that time where I found Freelee the Banana Girl. Now, if you don't know who Freelee the Banana Girl is, I think I typed in something.
I mean, like, why is she mocking me then? Like, you know, it's like after I helped you and then you're just like, just mocking me. You know, the amount of, the lack of gratitude is just incredible with these spoiled children.
Something like weight loss diet or something to do with weight loss on YouTube, obviously while I was so fucked in the head, on the verge of death, still trying to lose weight. And
yeah, so she was in a really bad place, still trying to lose weight, because this has always been about looks for her. This has always just been me, narcissistic, plant-based poser. And I understand, because this culture teaches women to be obsessed with how they look. You know, that you're not good enough, you're ugly, you're like second grade, you're not good enough unless you look a certain way. And I understand that. And me showing my body and showing my results is a way for me to get to these girls. Because I grew up like that too. To get to these girls and to finally bring them to the lifestyle where they don't have to restrict anymore. They don't have to eat raw till 4. You know, they don't have to eat all raw. That's your choice. And that's your choice. You should always take responsibility for that, not blame someone else. Okay, so, you know, like a lot of these girls, they went to eating more cooked food, and that's fine. It doesn't make it healthier, it doesn't make my recommendations wrong, but if it's more sustainable for them and it keeps them on this path, then I'm happy. Go for it.
And that's when Freelee popped up, and that's how I found out about her. Now, if you guys don't know who Freelee the Banana Girl is, she's a vegan YouTuber. She's primarily raw vegan, but she has a very interesting way of promoting veganism. But, you know, at the time...
I mean, when she's saying an interesting way of promoting veganism, I'm not 100% sure of what she means there. You know, I've reached out to a lot of celebrities and, you know, YouTubers, and showing them how to, you know, do the lifestyle and why it's important to eat a lot of fruit. Yes, I show my results, because why? You want me to wear a potato sack? You want me to just cover my body up and pretend I don't have good results after 13 years of high fruit? I'm not going to do that, okay? That's ridiculous. You know, I'm here to actually show the results, and that's why so many women have come to this lifestyle via my influence, via me pushing it out there so much and showing the healthy results. If they don't stick to the lifestyle, that's up to them. They can always eat less, eat more, go to a cooked plant-based dietary aspect of veganism as well. That's always their choice.
Being in my eating disordered mind, all I saw was her body. You know, I just saw how lean she was, how skinny she was, and she flaunted that. You know, she's always kind of flaunted what a low body fat percentage that she had, and you know, I was already...
I've never like flaunted that I have a low body fat percentage. I've just said I'm lean and I'm showing my results. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all, okay? It's healthy to be a lean human frugivore. It's how we're meant to be. People are getting fatter and fatter and fatter, and it's not healthy. Stop pretending that this is healthy. Okay, it's not. And it's from recommendations from people who are uneducated. You know, they simply are uneducated, and I have educated myself on the human body. So I actually understand optimal human nutrition. Okay, so I'm not going to listen to any more of her kind of excuses for going back to eating animals. Let's have a look at how many views I have on my channel, on my main channel that has now been suppressed since 2016 by YouTube. So on my main channel, I have 334 million views. This is huge, okay? Started in 2007. So go to any of your favorite vegan YouTubers, plant-based YouTube, whatever, and have a look at their about page. Have a look at how many views they've got. This is going to tell you the impact they've had thus far for veganism. So you can see that I have reached so many people with this message, and Raw Till 4 went viral, and that was the intention. My intention was to reach a lot of young women caught in that dieting mentality and bring them to an ethical lifestyle where they could eat as much as they want and not worry anymore and be healthy. And so many people are still vegan as a result of my influence and my recommendations. I have messages every single day. I even got the attention of the biggest female YouTuber at the time, Jenna Marbles. Even Shane Dawson as well tried to be vegan, but he at least spoke about it. He had me on his channel. I got their attention. Carly Bible. You know, there's so many more. Joey Graceffa who went back, but I can't control it when people go back. You know, I can't, you know, force ethics into them. I can only educate them as far as possible, and that's what I try to do with Brianna, with everybody. is to educate on the importance of ethics, because veganism is not a diet about you. Veganism is a lifestyle about animals, about animal liberation. And to say my recommendations cause people to go back to eating animals, it just is ridiculous. I'm not your mummy. I'm not your mummy, okay? I may have brought you or brought someone else to this lifestyle, and they have gone back because they have been, you know, all about their looks and calorie restriction, but that's not my fault. Take responsibility. I'm here giving free videos out that you can come and watch or not watch at any time. I'm giving healthy recommendations, but I'm not your mummy, and I never will be. We're seeing people actually go back after eating higher fat and higher protein, more balanced plant-based diets. But the thing is, it's not even that. It's the fact that they're calorie restricting. All these girls, Yovana, Elise, Brianna, are calorie restricting. And also, they all met a man, didn't they? So there's some factors here that you need to be aware of. I mean, I get messages every single day from people who have been vegan from my gone vegan from my influence, ones who have been 8-10 years vegan from my influence. Even Alana Blanchard, who is a pro surfer, wrote, "You look amazing. I became vegan watching your YouTube videos 8 years ago and haven't looked back. Thank you." And she also says that I'm a fruit bat. I can't survive without it. She's totally into the fruit as well. And I'm getting these messages every day. So I just wanted to like iron that out, because it's quite annoying to be misrepresented by people who want to fit their agenda. And also check out this video sharing the stories of others eating 2,500 calories plus a day and the natural weight loss. Does that 2,500 calories sound familiar to you? Yes, it is what I recommended from the start. It's what these girls copied, and I'm so happy they did. And in this video that Alice made, she features 20 plus women who are vegan from my influence who overcome their ED eating 2,500 calories plus my recommendations. So the proof is in the banana pudding. Let's get back to it, shall we? So Brianna just goes on to make a whole lot of excuses. You know, she needed to do it for health. She needed to do it for health. She needed to go back to eating animals for her health. No. There is nothing in animal flesh and their secretions that we need in our human body. There's nothing that is miraculously healing you. You know, these are just the excuses these people use. And they try and make veganism sound so complicated when it's very simple, okay? This is a lifestyle about animals, about animal liberation. And the dietary aspect, yes, we need to pay attention to that. You know, we need to remember the fact that we are frugivores. Deny it all you want. You know, I get bullied all the time about calling us frugivores. It's like, that's what we are. And I will always, always promote that because it's the truth. And I'm a truth seeker. And yes, I know that people have a hard time following a raw food diet or raw till 4 in this concrete jungle. The world is not set up for it. But that's why we need to change it. That's why we need to step up and have high standards for our health and well-being, which changes the rest of the world. There are a lot of people who do have high standards and maintain the lifestyle. The ones who go back or change their diet, does that mean it doesn't work? No. It means they changed their diet. They decided to go in a different direction, okay? You know, if you decide to eat less fruit in your diet, that's not a benefit. All the science points towards us needing more fruit in our diet, and raw till 4 quantities of fruit have been proven by science to be healthy. Let's check it out here.
Fruit, on the other hand, is beneficial in almost any amount. What do they mean by almost? Can we eat 10 fruit a day? How about 20 fruit a day? It's actually been put to the test.
20 fruit a day. Sounds familiar, right?
17 people were made to eat 20 servings a day of fruit, despite the extraordinarily high fructose content of their diet, presumably about 200 grams a day, 8 cans of soda worth. The investigators reported no adverse effects, possible benefit actually, for body weight, blood pressure, and insulin and lipid levels, fats in the blood, after 3 to 6 months. More recently, Jenkins and colleagues put people on about a
benefits. Are you surprised? This is because eating predominantly your species-specific diet is actually going to improve your health. What a concept, eh?
20 servings of fruit a day diet for a few weeks, and no adverse effects on weight or blood pressure or triglycerides, and an astounding 38-point drop in LDL cholesterol. There was one side effect, though. Given the 44 servings of vegetables they had on top of all that fruit,
oh, look at that. 2,500 calories. Sounds familiar, right?
Recorded the largest bowel movements apparently ever documented in a dietary intervention.
Ever documented. And that is a fantastic benefit of this lifestyle, of a high fruit lifestyle, is the fiber content, because it fills our stomachs. It fills our small intestine, so we get that satiation associated with eating. When you don't eat fiber, like animal products has no fiber, remember, you don't get that satiation. You might get this kind of sick feeling, but it's not the natural expansion of your digestive system, which sends a signal to your brain to stop eating, that we're full. That is one of the signals. So, fantastic. And also, what is the #1 risk factor for death in the USA? Let's have a listen here.
The Global Burden of Disease study, funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is the most comprehensive and systematic analysis of the causes of death undertaken ever, involving nearly 500 researchers from more than
This is the most comprehensive study done ever. Please take note.
300 institutions in 50 countries, starting out with almost 100,000 data sources. What did they find? Determined our #1 killer was our diet. #1 on their list of the most important dietary risks, not eating enough fruit, responsible for millions of deaths a year around the world.
Okay, so you heard Dr. Greger. #1 risk factor for death is not eating enough fruit. So these people trying to tell you to reduce the amount of fruit and that eating a lot of fruit in the diet is not healthy are like, they don't know. They're uneducated. Look at the results they're getting too. Do you want similar results? If you want similar results to them, then eat like they do. Then take their advice. Okay? Fruit, I recommend the healthiest foods on the planet. Fruits, greens, nuts and seeds, and also you can eat a whole lot of other things. You can even eat donuts and stuff like that, but I don't recommend you get into that too much because it's just not optimal, okay? You know, but I also recommend grains and tofu and all that sort of thing. These are foods that I know people still want to eat, but they're not optimal, okay? And that's why you always have to include as much fruit in your diet as possible. Never restrict your fruit intake. Eat more, more, more. This is healthy, okay? And when you can't eat a lot of fruit for some reason, then go and eat other high carbohydrate foods like potatoes. I love potatoes. Baked potatoes, like I'm done, I love them. Grains, baked potatoes, rice. These are other ones that are not as healthy as fruit, but they're next in line and they're easier for some people to get. Let me just round this up. You might see a couple of bigger YouTubers going back to eating their friends, but a huge amount of women from my influence have actually stayed on the lifestyle and are on it years and years later, and they're actually learning how to properly nourish themselves. Most frugivores are so pathetic, like the species is so pathetic that we haven't even learned how to nourish ourselves properly, to feed ourselves properly. You know, and that's what I do. That's what I'm all about. And Brianna is just full of excuses. She's full of me, 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 me. She's trying to say that going back to eating animals has cured her eating disorder. No, Brianna. You had mental illness, like you admitted yourself when you came to this lifestyle. Brianna was never vegan, okay? She never followed my recommendations. She was starving herself from the start. Like she said, she brought her eating disorder to this lifestyle. Her sick eating disorder mentality brought it to a healthy lifestyle. So just like Elise and just like Yvonne, she was eating a higher protein, higher fat, plant-based diet before she went back. But she was also calorie restricting that as well. So we can't blame fruit. We can't blame raw food. That is very irrational. It's like what? So someone enters a lifestyle as a raw foodist. Like we know a lot of people in the vegan movement, right, who entered the movement via being raw and dabbling with a high fruit lifestyle, and they're still on the vegan lifestyle. But if they fall off tomorrow, are we going to say, oh, they're a raw foodist. They fell off the lifestyle after being raw for like a period of time at the start of their journey. You know, that's ridiculous. But people, even in comments, are more likely to blame me than the actual individual because they're uneducated. So to round this up, okay, it is not the fruit's fault. It's not a fruit diet. She wasn't even a raw foodist. She was under eating. She got obsessed with protein. She met this guy who was into weight training. She started the weight training. She didn't eat enough to meet her caloric needs. She was eating a more high fat, more high protein, plant-based diet before she went back, just like Elise, just like Yovana. You know, these are things you have to actually listen to. You know, I'm an investigator, okay, and this only took me a small amount of time to actually identify. So remember, people like Brianna were never vegan. They were a plant-based poser, and I understand. I brought a lot of girls, like thousands and thousands, through Raw Till 4, through my influence, you know, through getting to Carly Bible types and Jenna Marbles and Shane Dawson and Trisha Paytas and Joey Graceffa, and the list goes on and on and on. I got to these people and then they got to their audience. Trisha Paytas made a video about Raw Till 4. You know, it went viral, okay? And I knew it would bring in a lot of diet-obsessed, looks-obsessed girls. I knew that. That was part of my strategy because I wanted to help these girls to get off that diet merry-go-round and actually start to care about animals. You know, and start to actually live an ethical lifestyle and be nourished at the same time. This was my goal. So remember that when you see people going back, for everyone going back, I can show you many testimonials from people who are staying on. So don't give these plant-based posers too much attention and think the whole vegan movement is falling down. That is not true. That is just ridiculous to think of it in that way because there are so many people still on this lifestyle and actually nourishing themselves correctly. Okay, so that's my video for today. Raw Till 4 is the healthiest lifestyle that I can recommend. I've done the research, I've done the experiments myself, I've talked to thousands and thousands of people. Raw Till 4 is what I ended at. A raw food lifestyle done properly, eating enough calories, like any diet, you have to eat enough, is excellent. The Raw Till 4 is more maintainable, but if you can't maintain Raw Till 4, then eat a high-carb, cooked vegan diet. I'm happy if you do that, but never ever think that it's healthier than eating a high-fruit diet because it's just not, because you're a frugivore.